What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mindset Mutiny. I am your host, Mike Ivanov. So today I am going to talk about the main character, being the main character. And there's a lot of jokes out there. People like to fucking laugh about it. Like, oh, this guy thinks he's the main character. Well, guess what? You fucking are, okay? You're the main character in your own life. So you have two options. Hand the fucking keys to somebody else and let them drive, or you take control. Take back your life. Because you are the main character, and just so you know, no one's coming to save you. It's up to you. You have to write the story, right? So you might as well write it like you're the main character. So we'll get into that. I just find it's very important because at many times in my life, I haven't been the driver. I've always kind of listened to other people tell me what I should be doing. But it's always shit I never really want to do, and it's things I'm not passionate about. And I've always kind of let those passions and things that I love and I think that are going to move the needle just kind of play, second fiddle. So my message to all of you is that you need to be the main character and that no one's coming to save you and that it's time for you to take back your life, right? So let's be honest with ourselves here. Most people, and I say most, it's a huge percentage, they're not living their own life. They're living out a blueprint somebody else handed them. That's the fucking truth. And they never even stop to question it. And I've been there for so many spots in my life. From what do you want to go do in college? What do you want to do for a job when you get out? Like, I've literally listened to other people tell me, oh, you're good at this. You're good at sales. You're good at, you're good at leadership. Oh, do this, do that. Okay. Yeah, no problem. But I never really took the time to say what do I really want to do here? What matters? What am I passionate about? What would fuel me where I would just jump the fuck out of bed, to go do something that I really want to do, right? So we all probably have these different jobs and careers that most of us sometimes have to drag ourselves to and don't always, fuel the passion. Imagine if you were doing something where literally as soon as you open your eyes, you blast out of bed and you can't wait to fucking get started. And I say imagine it, but you can do that. That's real, man. I'm doing that right now. It's Saturday. I could be, laying in bed, doing whatever, but I'm here talking to you on the podcast because this is the shit I love to do. And I hope it's helping people. Fuck that. I know it's helping people because people are starting to reach out to me. So if you're out there and you have a question for me or you're struggling with something or you need to investigate a concept, hit me up. Plenty of people have done it, man. Just had lunch with somebody who did it the other day. We got together, we talked about some concepts that are very important, and give somebody a different perspective, right? So that's why I'm here. So back to always doing things other people have always laid out for me, living that blueprint. Yeah, that's been my life. And for the last 5 years, I've been living my own fucking blueprint. I don't give a fuck what anybody else tells me I need to be doing. I am living my own fucking life because at the end of the day, I'm going to have to look back at it. And if it's full of regret, it's going to be really fucking sad to have to look at that shit. So what I'm doing is I'm plotting a course. I'm writing a story that nobody else can write. I'm writing my own story, one that no one else gets a vote in. So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to think about, and I asked this to somebody the other day when we were doing some coaching sessions, what would you do if money didn't matter, right? Because all too often we make decisions based on what it's going to pay us. What is it? What is that financial part of it? Anything that's ever paid me a good amount of money, I just feel like I've done it for the wrong reasons. Get a corporate career so you can pay, this and that and be financially whatever. I don't know, man. It doesn't bring a whole lot of happiness. Helping other people, sitting here on the podcast, that fills my tank. So I want you to think about what fills yours, because right now you might be listening to this driving to the job that you fucking hate. Do something about it, man. No one's going to come help you do that. But think about it, because if you can identify what you would do if money didn't matter, all your actions would end up starting to take you there if you could just identify it. But when you ask people that question, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that before, is usually the response. Good. I'm glad I'm asking questions people haven't asked you before. Excellent. Perfect. let's keep it going, right? So we never stop to question the blueprints people give us, right? That's the issue. All right. From the time we were kids, I like to think that we were programmed. I've always been told to be good, follow the rules, blend in, all that bullshit, right? Most of us were never taught to lead. Unless you had certain parenting growing up, you don't actually know what it's like to lead yourself, right? So you got to lead yourself before you can lead others, and then those others will build other leaders, right? That's the whole point of what we're doing here. So most of the time, we're always taught to obey. Sit still, raise your hand, memorize, repeat after me. I can remember, and this is kind of cool, when I was a kid, I used to get 2s in conduct. And when I say kid, I mean, that goes pretty far up through my schooling. I used to have to sit next to the teacher's desk. And I used to have to get a note sent home every day, happy face or sad face, from the teacher to give to my parents. How fucked up is that? And what was great is my grandfather would always tell my mother when she'd, kind of want to come down on me for it. He'd be like, nope, that's not Mike's fault. It's not Mike's fault that the teacher can't keep Mike engaged. And I love him for that. And, we've never really discussed that, but that will hang on in my brain for a long time, because sitting in those classrooms, being told to listen, being told to repeat after me, all that type of shit, wasn't passionate about what we were talking about. And, my brain wanted to be somewhere else. And is that my fault? I don't know. I'm still trying to unwind that. But that stuff that everybody was trying to quiet down in me is my best parts of me, right? And that stuff needs to flourish, and I need to let that grow. And that's what my grandfather saw. And I thank him for that, because people tried to change who I was back then. And I'm glad that they weren't successful, because I love who I am today. We were never really trained to think for ourselves. We were always kind of trained to comply. And that was kind of a script. And it was always kind of dressed up as protection, but in a way, it was poison, right? So go to school, right? But don't ask why. Just go. Get good grades. Why? I don't know, because someone said that's why. Go to college. Rack up that debt so you can get a job that you fucking hate to pay back those loans. Right? Find a stable career, even if that career kills your soul. Get married, buy the house, have the kids, smile wide for that family photo, but deep down inside, you're fucking drowning. Save for retirement so you can sit there and die slowly. That's the American dream, right? That's how I look at it. Ain't no fucking dream of mine. In my mind, it's really a slow motion nightmare. Always been told, don't ask too many questions. Fit in, smile and nod, play it safe. Wait your turn. Be grateful for what you have, even if what you have is killing you. And what's worse, I believed it. I followed it. I bought into the biggest fucking lie ever sold. That security is worth trading your soul for. And now we're here. And I lived numb, empty, waking up to an alarm clock I hated, going to a job that drained me, to come home, stare at a screen that distracts me until I fall asleep, and then I do it all over again. A lot of you are living that way. I'm not. I used to be. And I'm out the other side telling you that you can do something different. You're not living. You're not thriving. You're just surviving. And the part that cuts the deepest when I think about these things is that most of us accepted a supporting role in our own story. The story that you were born to lead. You stepped aside willingly so someone else could tell you exactly what your life is supposed to look like. And now you're wondering why you feel stuck, why you're anxious, why you feel like something is missing. It's not a fucking mystery. You betrayed yourself. It's terrible, because deep down, buried underneath the bills, the fear, the social expectations, is a fire that you silenced. A voice that's been screaming for years, this is not who I'm supposed to be. There's more to me than this. I was meant for something bigger. Does that resonate with any of you? I can remember sitting in my car early in the morning. It was like 4:30 in the morning. I would hit the gym before I'd go across the street to open up this tire shop that I worked at many years ago. And I remember coming out of the gym, driving my car over to this building that I was going to open up, sitting in the parking lot, looking at the fucking place in a shitbox vehicle that I was driving. It was a 2000 Audi A6 wagon, piece of shit. I was living at home because I had gone broke at my mom and dad's house with my girlfriend, obviously, who's now my wife. Sitting there being like, what the fuck is this life, man? I got a college education. I'm sitting here working at a fucking tire shop. What am I doing? And I remember sitting there and I made the decision and said, I am more than this. So much more than this. And it's time to fucking get to work. And it's been a hard road, from that to where I am today. And I will tell that origin story because it's important for you to know who I am and know who's talking on the other end of this. But that's a moment where I remember it all turned. And there were some bad things that happened after that. And we will get into detail on that. But for years, I had been living this fucking lie. And instead of listening to it, I would just scroll. Instead of fighting back, I would just shrink. Instead of acting, I would just daydream. And some of you are doing the same thing. You know so many people that are living like this, but if you're listening to this, you are the small percentage of people that are waking up to it. But every day you do those things, you scroll, you shrink, you daydream. Every day you do that, you betray the main character that you were supposed to fucking be. This world doesn't need another copy. It doesn't need another obedient drone. It needs you, fully activated, fully alive, unapologetic, and untamed. It needs your story, written in your blood, your sweat, your courage. But you can't write it until you stop living that fucking script. The script that was never yours. It's time for you to tear up the lie, burn it if you have to, and start authoring a story worth dying for. What does it really mean to be the main character? Let's strip it all the way down and rebuild the truth. Being the main character doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you're famous. It doesn't mean the spotlight's always on you. It damn sure doesn't mean you're the loudest one in the room. Being the main character means one thing. You own your life. All of it. You stop blaming the past, right? Stop blaming the past. We have so many people that live there. I used to always look at the past. Oh, this is why. Oh my God. This happened to me. Oh, poor me. Fuck all that shit. Stop blaming the past. You blame the past, you continue to live there. You ever know the person who's kind of still living on fucking accomplishments in high school? Like that was their glory days, right? No one wants to be that guy. Cut it out. What you did before doesn't fucking matter. Nobody cares about your past accomplishments. I want you to know that. Take it however you want. Nobody cares what you did yesterday. It's about what you're doing today. So stop with the fucking excuses. Stop blaming your past. Because what happened to you in the past doesn't define who you are in the future. Every single day you wake up, you can be a different person. You can be who you want to be. There's a hard reset every time you fucking close your eyes at night and you get the opportunity to open them the next day. You better fucking maximize that. Stop waiting for the future. You got to grab the fucking wheel and drive. Through the storms, through the setbacks, the detours, all of it. You become the force that shapes the story. Stop living the victim plot. It means that you take radical accountability. You own your actions, your thoughts, your results, no excuses, no pointing fingers. Just that's mine and I'll fix it. When you can really do that, oh man, life fucking gets easy, bud. It really does. When you stop blaming others and worrying about what others are doing that are affecting you, that's on you, man. That's your fucking shit. Take radical responsibility. It means you make decisions with intention, not emotion. Our emotions lie to us. Intention is the way forward. You stop reacting. You start responding. Calm under fire, focused under pressure. You operate on purpose. It means you don't wait for the plot twist. You write it. You flip the chapter. You walk into chaos and you bend it to your fucking will. Stop waiting around. Stop being a bitch. I was there, man. That's why I'm qualified to talk about this. I used to wait for the plot twist. Oh, one day, something good's going to happen for me. No, it's not. It won't. No. Hope is not a fucking strategy. Okay? Intention. Yeah, that helps. That's the way forward. Okay? Stop waiting around. It means you show up every day like it matters. Because it fucking does. So many people set autopilot. Boom, here we go. Just going to get through my week. No, show up. Make it happen. If there's people around you that don't want to, get rid of them. Okay? Because the main character shit, this means that every rep, every conversation, every choice, it all is a building block. It's all a way of breaking the old story because the main character means you stop waiting to be chosen. You stop waiting to be seen, to be validated, to be saved. You become the one who chooses. You don't ask permission to grow. You don't need someone to tell you you're good enough. You stop outsourcing your life to followers. You stop worrying about the filters. You say, fuck the fake friends. Confidence doesn't come from the applause. It comes from the actions repeated in the dark. From knowing what you've overcome, from the scars that turned into armor, from walking through the fire and not only surviving, but building your identity from those ashes. The main character, he doesn't fear failure. He fears not trying. He fears settling. He fears dying before he's actually dead. Yeah. He fears dying before he's actually dead. A lot of you fucking people out there are dead. Walking around like zombies. I was. And all that anxiety and that depression, all that shit I was experiencing, was my body telling me, dude, what the fuck? Wake up. Move. You have a choice. I can remember standing in front of the mirror, fat, fucking balding, looking like absolute shit, weak, victim mentality. And I can even remember, I think I said it out loud. I'm like, oh man, well, welcome to my 30s. Crazy, right? Now I'm sitting here in the best shape of my life. I do not experience anxiety. I was on stage in front of 6,000 people telling my story. I'm in literally the most dangerous I've ever been with jiu-jitsu and my mindset. I've been pushing myself past every single fear that I've ever come across. And the only difference has been mindset. I decided to wake up. I was dead inside. You could see it on my face. You could see it in my being. You can do the same thing. I'm not special. I'm not that fucking smart. I just decided to be the main character. Being the main character means you can't hide behind that past. You can't think that you can't change it. The main character doesn't numb out on that cheap dopamine, all that scroll session, all the likes, all the bullshit. The main character doesn't shrink in the face of discomfort. The main character walks right the fuck into it. Because the discomfort is where the next version of you is buried. Behind all that fear, that doubt, that insecurity. That's where you uncover the next evolution. Every single day you wake up, you got to go to battle. You got to win that 1v1. That's the biggest fight you'll ever have. Your fight's not with the world. It's with yourself. It's with the weaker version that keeps wanting you to hit the snooze button, that keeps allowing you to avoid the hard conversations, skip the workouts, scroll endlessly, live small. But that main character, he's louder. He silences that voice through action. You want to feel alive? Stop looking for excitement. Stop chasing the next high. Start acting like you fucking matter. It's not in some ego-driven way, but in a deep, primal sense. Like your life actually has weight. Like it fucking matters. Like what you do, what you build needs to stand the time, right? It needs to stand up. It needs to be something. It needs to be something you're proud of, something your kids will look at. Some others will see you building and want to join. You need to realize the way you carry yourself could inspire somebody else to rise. That's the fucking point of living, to inspire others. Because if you keep playing small, if you keep hiding behind the fear, if you keep pretending you're not meant for more, you will fucking watch your life pass you right by. And that kind of brings me to a thought where you hear people say like, oh, that must be nice. Or when I see people watching other people succeed, and then I'm wondering why they're not just sitting there taking notes and doing the same exact shit. Because that's all I did. When I wanted to grow, when I wanted to be more, I just looked at everybody else that was doing better than me and I started implementing things that they were doing. You know, I was looking at guys like Jocko Willink, Nick Bare, seeing how they kind of communicate what they expect from themselves. And I started to implement these little things they were talking about. Because I'm like, if these guys are that successful and, you know, they're in great shape and they're doing all these things and they seem like their life is on the right track, well, I can do that too. I'm just as capable. So I started taking a little bit of pointers. And then I started looking at people around me. And I started looking at others that I've kind of looked to. And I said, all right, I'm going to do what they're going to do. I'm doing what they're doing. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go talk to them about getting better, right? If you haven't sat down with somebody that you find is more successful than you or in better shape or doing something that you've always wanted, if you haven't sat down with them and asked them how and then went and fucking done it, you're selling yourself short. If you just sit there and you watch them and say, oh, it must be nice, that's your fucking fault, man. You deserve every single thing that you're getting or the lack thereof, because usually that's what it is. And here's the truth, right? And this will fucking haunt you, straight up. Someone else is living that life that you're meant for. Not because they're better than you, but because they had the courage to take the fucking wheel. And while you were sitting there, scrolling, looking above, hoping that something's going to come down and save you, while you were waiting for a sign, they were out building one. While you were out hoping somebody would notice you, They were out becoming undeniable. Stop being the fucking extra in your own story. Stop sitting in the audience of your fucking life. This is your time. This is your script. But you have to be bold enough to act. You have to be bold enough to lead. Brave enough to suffer, to rise. Because the main character, he doesn't run from the fire. He becomes it. So there are some truths that I will share with you that could set you free if you listen and if you're brave enough. So let's stop pretending. Let's stop softening the message. You want to change your fucking life? Listen up. You want the brutal truth? The ones that nobody wants to say out loud because they're too busy trying to stay comfortable? That's why people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to upset their comfortable little fucking bubble. I see it all the time. Sit with guys, people I'm coaching, people that ask me for the way forward. As soon as you start pointing at the comfort, people start getting real uncomfortable. I've had a few guys quit, which is okay. Not everybody's going to make it. But the guys I'm coaching now are absolute fucking savages, and they understand this. They understand the comfort is fucking killing them. And they know the truths, they're going to hurt. They've already felt it. But they know that it'll set them free if they're willing to face it. Number one, no one, okay? No one is coming to fix your life. Why the fuck would they do that? Not your mentor, not your partner, not your parents, not your boss, not your therapist, not even your fucking coach. We can help you, we can guide you, we can challenge you, but you got to do the fucking work. That voice in your head telling you, oh, maybe somebody will show up to show me the way, that's the voice of weakness. Burn that motherfucker down. That's the lie you cling to so you don't have to be responsible. Because once you admit that nobody's coming, you also admit that it's all on you. And that's terrifying for most people. But for me, that's fucking awesome. Why do I have to rely on somebody else? I can only trust number one. Number one is a savage motherfucker. He will show up when everybody else quits. So great. My life is based on what I'm doing. Sure, awesome. I don't know why everybody else is waiting for somebody else to do this with. Admitting it's all on you is the freedom. Stop being scared. You got to learn to trust yourself. And the only way you trust yourself is you start taking action and showing yourself that you can do it. But every single time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, that's when you weaken yourself. You set an alarm clock and you don't get up, just fucked yourself. You set a time to train and you don't, you just fucked yourself. Knowing that it's all on you is liberation. Because if nobody's coming to save you, then you can stop waiting. You can start today, right now, building. You can reclaim that power. And I'll tell you, not when your life calms down. Not when somebody hands you permission. It's now. You are the builder. You are the fire. You are the force that's going to make it fucking happen. Number two, the story that you're living is the one that you tolerate. Everything in your life, you're tolerating it. If you go through and you write down everything you don't like about your life, which is what I had to do, you're tolerating it. I'll let that sit in for a second. Let it soak in. You are tolerating it. If you're fat, cool. No big deal. You can change that. But if you remain fat, you're tolerating it. If you're unhappy with the friends that you have because you won't have a hard conversation, or you want to keep them in your life because it's comfortable, cool. You're tolerating it. You let people treat you a certain way, get away with it, cool. You're tolerating it. The lack of success that you're achieving in your life, and you just want to sit there and hope that it's going to change, I want you to know that you're tolerating it. Your life right now, your body, your mindset, your money, your relationships, your routines, it's not random. It's a mirror. It's a reflection of what you've accepted as good enough. Tolerating it. That extra 30 pounds, tolerated it. That chaos in your relationships, you allowed it. That mediocrity at your job, you chose it. That anxiety you've normalized, you invited it in. You need to always remember, you don't rise to your goals. You will sink to your standards. And to many of you, you're living a life far beneath the potential that you have because you're afraid of raising the standard. You're afraid what it would require. When I look at so many people's lives, right? I look at their life, I say, geez, why the fuck wouldn't they do this? Why wouldn't they try that? Oh, man. And I had somebody sit me down one day, somebody close to me, because at one point in time, I tried to help everybody. You know, any person I'd see how they're doing something. I say, oh, yeah, try this, do that. And he sat me down. He's very close to me, and he sees me from a perspective, obviously, that I don't see myself from. And he says, Mike, I need you to realize something. The potential you see in others isn't real. It's what you would do in their situation. It's taken me years to kind of grasp that, but it's the most true thing I've ever heard. Because I look at so many people and they can change their lives and they can do it quick. But then I realized that if I was in their situation, that's how I would do it, right? But they're not going to listen to me. And I've tried. So I only waste my time now with people that want to listen. And I have found a group of those people, and I will share with them everything I know. And they tell me where they want to go, and I will make sure they fucking get there. Because I'm that guy. You tell me where you want to go, I will get you there. It will be hard. There will be crying. You will doubt everything. There are times where you will hate me. But I'm going to tell you the truth, right? That 99.9% of people in this world won't tell you. That's why I'm valuable to have in your corner. I know how to raise that standard. I know what it means. It means saying no to the short-term things. It's all about delayed gratification. It means disappointing people. It means effort, sweat, change, pain. And the problem is that so many of us, again, myself included, have been conditioned to avoid all of that. But the real truth is you cannot hate your life and keep feeding it at the same time. You have to break the pattern. You have to raise the standard, no matter how bad it hurts. So number 3, you either write the story or you die in someone else's. That's it. That is the whole game. You don't get to be passive and fulfilled. That combo does not exist. You can't drift your way into greatness. You can't scroll your way into purpose. You can't numb your way into pride. You want peace? You fucking earn it. not by meditating in silence, but by going to war with the parts of you that are undisciplined, distracted, weak, by making the hard calls, by facing the consequences of your past decisions and still deciding to rise. You want purpose? You fucking build it. Brick, by choosing the path with resistance, by standing for something, by bleeding for the mission. You want to be proud of who you are? Yeah, I do. Then start living like the goddamn author of your fucking life. Not some side fucking character. Not the fucking guy who dies in the first fucking scene, okay? Grab the pen, write the scene. Burn the old chapter if you have to. You're not stuck, you're just fucking scared. You're scared of what it takes to move. You're not a victim. You're not cursed, you're not unlucky. Drop all of that fucking shit. You are just unwilling to burn the old script. That's what it is. And you're too afraid to start writing a new one. Why is that? Well, for me, and I believe for most, and you can lie to yourself all the fuck you want, okay? The reason you don't do that is because that new script requires pain, discomfort, sacrifice, loneliness, awkwardness, vulnerability, change. And you're afraid of all of that. In fact, maybe you've even been taught to avoid it. You might have been told that growth should feel good, that transformation should be smooth. I am here to assure you of that today. None of that is true. Growth is so fucking ugly. So ugly, so scary, filled with so much doubt. Transformation at times can feel impossible. I'm just trying to go back to think about all the different transformations and evolutions I've been through. And I can never quite put to words how difficult it's been. The last transformation I went through took about 5 to 6 months. And when I reached the peak, I ended up in bed for 3 days. I pushed so fucking hard for so fucking long and went through so much pain, so much doubt, so much fear, so much insecurity that when I finally reached that peak, I guess you could say I collapsed. If you are not crying, if you are not exhausted, if you are not questioning every bit of your ability, you are not pushing hard enough. People are outworking you. People are outgrowing you. Growth is violent. Absolutely. It's raw and it is a death and rebirth. You have to remove the mask and truly see what's underneath. But that pain, when you see the reality, that's what births greatness. Because pain with a purpose is your fuel. And those of you that run toward it instead of away from it, you don't just grow. You become unstoppable. So I need you to truly ask yourself this question. And I have asked myself this question so many times. Have you suffered enough pretending you're not the main character? Or are you ready to earn the life that you deserve? Because that's where the story shifts. When you decide that you're going to earn it. not waiting on it to be handed to you. I waited for so long, nothing ever came. So I can assure you, if you're still waiting, nothing's coming. Okay, that's a fact. Universal fact. Keep fucking waiting. Let me know how it goes, all right? When you finally decide to stop avoiding the truth, you can write the story. You gotta want to step into that role, though. So I've told you the truth. It's probably stinging, so now what? Becoming the main character is not a mindset. It's a mission. It's got many levels. But that mission requires movement, action, strategy, precision, relentless execution. So if you're serious, if you're done playing small, if you're ready to take center stage of your life, here's how you do it. Number one, stop outsourcing your story. I've said it a million times. No more blame. No more because of it's how I was raised. Stop that shit. No more my ex messed me up. No more the timing isn't right. Stop passing the pen to people who don't have to live with the consequences of your story. Take ownership. Ownership of your pain. Ownership of your patterns. Ownership of your potential. This is your movie, your mission. And if you keep waiting for someone else to make it better, you've already lost. Main characters do not look for handouts. They look in the mirror and they go to war. Number two, build the habits of a savage. Forget the fucking motivation. It's not real. It fades. It's fragile. It disappears the moment things get uncomfortable. I can promise you that. Discipline is the king. Savage habits are what we need to establish. Showing up when you're tired, training when it's raining, working when others are relaxing, saying no when everyone else is saying just this once. You do what needs to be done, not what you feel like doing. You stop negotiating with your weaknesses. Main characters don't wait for the stars align. They align their actions regardless of conditions. Want to look like a warrior? Want to speak with fire? Want to lead with authority? Then build the habits that forge that identity. Stop fucking around. You know what you have to do. Don't expect a round of applause for not doing shit. The reward for all of this pain and all this sacrifice and all this hard work is becoming undeniable. Number three, cut the background noise. You'll never become the main character if your life is filled with static. Distractions, energy leaks, low vibe parasites that suck the potential out of you. Start cutting. Cut the weak people. You know the ones. The complainers, the enablers, the victims. The ones who will tell you that you've changed the moment you start leveling up. Yep, you've changed. That's the point. Cut that cheap dopamine out. Get rid of it. TikTok, Instagram, porn, endless scrolling, sugar, meaningless conversations, they're stealing your fire. Every second you numb yourself is a second you're not building yourself. Cut the maybe someday mindset bullshit. Stop saying you'll start Monday. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop hoping for the right feeling. Main characters start now. They act decisively. They create urgency. They stop using excuses. You want focus? Start subtracting. Simplify to amplify. Number 4, stack the fucking bricks. Daily. Every single thing you do is casting a vote. Not for who you want to be, but for who you actually are. Every rep in the gym, vote for strength. Every honest conversation, vote for leadership. Every run where your legs are dead and your heart is pounding, vote for endurance. Every time you choose discomfort over weakness, vote for greatness. It's never about one big moment. Trust me. Once you hit that big moment, you realize it was all about the journey there. And then you have to find the next one. It's about consistency, building momentum, stacking win after win until you believe you're the main character. You stack more and more wins, and then you know that you are the main character because you've earned it. And those wins, they compound. They build self-respect. They create evidence. That's the evidence right there that you need to then trust yourself. That evidence makes it almost impossible for doubt to survive. You want confidence? Stack the evidence. You want pride? Stack the proof. You want a new identity? Stack the fucking action. Number 5, you have to reframe the pain. You have to flip the script. Most people think the pain is the punishment. The main character, he hunts the pain. He knows the pain is the tuition, the toll, the fee, the sacrifice. The price you pay to build something that matters. Pain is not the enemy. It's the doorway. Every time you choose to suffer with purpose, you step closer to power. That soreness from a hard lift, that's the body transforming. That discomfort from a hard truth, that's your character being forged. That silence you feel when you cut off the wrong people, that's clarity being born. The main character doesn't avoid the fire. He becomes it. He doesn't say, why is this happening to me? He says, good. Now I can show them what I'm made of. Pain is the signal to keep going, not to stop. It's to go deeper, push harder. And the real ones know that. You don't rise in the light. You rise in the dark when no one's watching, when no one is cheering, when it's just you and the next decision. If you want to step into that role, you have to fucking earn it. You have to build a life that makes the weak uncomfortable. A life so disciplined, so intentional, so real that people either follow you or fear you. Because the main character will never, ever apologize for being locked in. He doesn't beg to be understood. He just moves with purpose, with pain, with fire. This is how you reclaim the pen and write the next chapter. This is how you take the wheel. This is how you make the world stop and pay attention. By becoming a force that cannot be ignored. And that is the definition of becoming undeniable. But you can keep playing small. It's okay. Why do people run from this shit? I don't know. Let me ask you something. And this is what most people run from. Not because it's dramatic. Not because it's true. Let me back up. If you died tomorrow, right? I always ask myself this. If you died tomorrow, would your story be worth telling? Would they say you lived? Would they say you led? Would they say you stood for something real, something raw, something bigger than yourself? Or would they struggle to remember your name? because you never gave them anything real to remember. Would your kids talk about the fire in your eyes? Or would they inherit your fears, your excuses, your insecurities, your indecision? Would your friends say you chased your calling, no matter what the cost? Or would they say he had so much potential, if only he had gone for it? That's the punchline. That's the tragedy most men are living out right now in real time. They don't run out of time, they run out of courage. They stay quiet when they should roar. They stay still when they should move. They play safe when the world needed them to go all in. And when it's all over, they're not remembered for what they did. They're remembered for what they didn't do. Not because, listen, most people will never live a life that means anything. Not because they didn't have the talent. Not because they didn't have the resources. Not because the universe was unfair, but because they wouldn't choose courage over comfort. They wouldn't trade the cheap applause for a legacy. They wouldn't confront the terrifying reality that their life is their responsibility. You all know someone like this. If you don't, maybe it's you. I lived this way in my life for so long it made me sick. It was making me so sick. In the absence of the fire, I chose to play small. People are doing that now. They choose it easy. They choose average. They choose likes instead of love, noise instead of depth, fitting in instead of standing the fuck out. And then they wonder why life feels empty. Let me tell you something here. Fitting in is the fastest way to disappear. You don't have to be one of them. You don't have to go down quietly. You don't have to fade into the fog of what could have been. But if you want to flip the script, if you want to break the cycle, you need to do something people will never do. I had to confront this. So stop being scared of the spotlight. Stop flinching when the heat comes. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop downplaying your hunger. Stop shrinking so others can feel comfortable. Because here's what no one's telling you. The life you want demands your greatness. Not your politeness, not your predictability, not your perfection. Your greatness, the fire, the grit, the obsession. The full, raw, authentic version of you. The one that's been locked up behind the fear and the what ifs. So if you keep playing small, if you keep deferring, delaying, distracting, don't be surprised when you wake up one day in a life that looks nothing like what you dreamed of. Because you built it, piece by piece, with every compromise, every excuse, every time you said later. But there's lots of good news here. This story isn't finished yet. The pen's still in your hand. You don't need permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You need one thing. Stop hiding. Step out of the shadow. Claim your place. Start living so fully, so unapologetically that the world has no choice but to remember you. Not because you were loud, because you were real. Not because you were liked, but because you were a fucking legend. This isn't about success. This is about the impact that we're going to deliver. This is about becoming undeniable. So I'll ask you again. If you died tomorrow, would the story be worth telling? And if the answer is no, then what the fuck are you waiting for?